Canadian actor Elliot Page recently released his new memoir. Pageboy became an instant New York Times bestseller, and in it, Elliot Page discusses his climb to fame, struggle with the spotlight, and the joy in finally embracing his identity as a trans man. I had the chance to speak with Elliot when he was in Toronto. This feels really personal to read, so I'm imagining what it was like to write this. I mean, from a professional standpoint, also just from the personal evolution. What does it feel like to now have it out in the world?
It feels surreal, you know, for sure. I think the build up to it coming out, like the waves of, oh my God, why did I, you know, all this stuff I shared, like I'd get hit with these sort of waves of anxiety, and now that it's out, there's sort of this feeling of, oh, okay. Like, I don't know, it's sort of an odd ease to it, I suppose.
Most of Canada and the world obviously came to know you when Juno was released. It's hard to believe, that was 2007. What was it like for you to revisit that period of your life?
Well, you know, I guess Juno has two parts to it for me, which is the actual making of the film and playing that character. I thoroughly enjoy. That's one of the best filmmaking experiences I ever had. But it was then the moment that it came out and the surprise sort of success and reach that it had, and then being put in the sort of Hollywood Oscar campaign season machine, which told me to disguise myself and lie about who I was, that I do not have fond memories about. So revisiting that was, it was definitely uncomfortable, but it felt good to be able to address it in a fully honest way for the first time. I think I always felt too insecure to say this was not a celebratory period for me. This was actually a very difficult time because you feel so ungrateful, you know, because this is what so many people want. Like, I get it. Oh, like, boo-hoo, I'm sorry, you had to wear a dress. Like, get over yourself. But I wanted to speak to it so people could understand, you know, the degree of what that actually felt like and how harmful that was and how toxic that is.
And that conversation around visibility, which you write about in the book, when you talk about the first time you kissed a girl, you write that her visibility as a queer person meant the world to you. Can you talk about visibility and what that means to you now?
Yeah, I mean, I think visibility is crucial. I've relied on it throughout my life and through my journey coming into my transness and during my transition, seeing ourselves reflected, knowing like, you're not alone with these thoughts, with these experiences, with this shame that you're carrying that's actually not yours to carry. And yeah, I can only hope that, you know, I mean, look, visibility has its complications as well. It leads to backlash, and the most marginalized and vulnerable members of the community are who deal with the brunt of those consequences. So that's also why we need to use our privilege and our platform to create the change and shift these toxic systems that lead to harm.
And complicated is one of the words I would use to probably describe some of the relationships that you talk about in the book. The first time you tried to talk to your mom about your sexuality, you were 15 years old. It didn't go as planned. There's a lot of growth to happen that needed to happen over the years. And that growth did happen. And what I found really interesting about how you wrote about this relationship with your mom was about how you were watching her learn and watching her grow. So how has your relationship changed over the years with your mom?
It's changed significantly. It's the best it's ever been. And yeah, it did take her time. And I have empathy. You know, she was born in 1954 in St. John, New Brunswick, to a minister. You know, she didn't have the language or understanding about queerness, about transness, and throughout the years that's shifted drastically because she's educated herself. Like, she's taken the effort to read and inform herself about the issues and our lives, you know? And I think she's also just seen her child become happy and embodied and confident. I think if anything, she feels enormous relief because she saw me struggle a lot. And now she couldn't be more of an advocate and an ally.
Obviously, you write about moments that were really challenging and hard for you, but there are moments of joy that you talk about in the book as well. And there's one moment that I want to highlight where you describe swimming in Toronto and wearing swim trunks for the first time. You posted that on Instagram. I remember seeing all of this. Can you describe what that felt like?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I remember feeling like nervous because even though I was with people that are my friends in the backyard in someone's house in Toronto, I could feel these like butterflies in my stomach, you know? And so not even the part of, you know, being in doing it in some super public way, but it was so exhilarating to just exist as myself, to feel like myself, to know that my internal world was finally getting to align with my external self, you know.
There's this short line in this book that captures so much of that with just a few short words. And I'm going to quote you here to your face. You write, "Let me just exist with you, happier than ever." Is happier than ever a fair way to describe how you feel now?
Yeah, I mean, it's not just that though. It's so many different things. It's confidence. It's better boundaries. It's being able to show up for other people more. I think there's such a ripple effect of getting to feel liberated, of getting to feel like our authentic selves, and I want that for everybody, cis, trans, straight, queer, what have you, you know? I think we have so much more in common than we do that's different, and I want that feeling and that sensation for everyone. But yeah, it doesn't mean I don't have a difficult day. I'm a human, of course, but when I say that, you know, my life has transformed in pretty much all ways it has.
It's a beautiful note to end on. Elliot, so good to see you.
You too.
Thanks for joining us here at Your Morning.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.